Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And this is ReDIScover, a conversation where we travel through everything that makes up the essence of who we are and how to live authentically and imaginatively.
Here, we invite you to join us as we explore and discuss a little bit of, well, everything.
From Disney to cultivating your most authentic life to deepening your relationships and talking about the real stuff.
We hope you'll find this a space that speaks to you, encourages you, and brings a little bit of magic into your day.
Hi there, I'm Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen.
And welcome back to this week's bonus episode of ReDIScover. If you tuned in on Tuesday, you would know that we started a 2-part Q&A
based on questions that you guys asked us on Instagram.
So part 1 featured questions that could have been about anything. There was no criteria, no limits.
Then we got really into some life advice, some self-affirmation, some favorites, and kind of getting to know us.
For part 2, we're diving into some this or that
and some Disney questions.
So we'll start off with the Disney questions. Let's get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First question. Would you get married in Disney someday?
I think I wouldn't mind being proposed to in Disney. If it was someone that I met at Disney while I was living there, or if there was some significance to a place in Disney, I would much rather just have a wedding outside somewhere where the venue and the reception area can kind of all be one and it can be a little more casual and fun.
I think it's funny because I'm kind of the opposite. Like I do
Really?
not want to get proposed to at Disney actually, unless it's somewhere really secluded and really special.
Well, I don't want to necessarily, but I wouldn't mind it if it made sense with
happened.
the person.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm very like for my whole future wedding and proposal, like I want it to be very, very unique to whoever I'm with. I feel like the fairy tale weddings are really magical looking anyway, but there's also just so many other places that I would be very open to. So it's a loaded question.
Somebody asked, what role have you always wanted to have as a cast member but didn't? I really haven't had one that I'm like, oh, I'm so mad I didn't do that, because I'm very happy with what I got to do.
Yeah, I loved every single role that I did at Disney, and I think it really fit who I am as a person. I think my pipe dream Disney job would have been to do a Tokyo Disneyland entertainment contract or Shanghai or something, but I don't know if entertainment was necessarily my path. Other than that, something with Disney Cruise Line would have been great, but probably something shoreside or something where I'd go on the ships occasionally or travel occasionally and then be based somewhere stationary. All right, next question. What is your favorite Epcot festival?
Flower and Garden.
I feel like I change my mind on this all the time, but today the answer is the Food and Wine Festival.
What?
I know.
When we did the Epcot episode, you said your favorite was Festival of the Arts, Jessica Faye.
It also is, but I'm missing Food and Wine right now, so.
I am a diehard Flower and Garden.
She's stable.
That is not true at all. That is like the farthest thing from true. Okay. Favorite ride / food and character meet and greet. So that's a lot of favorites.
That's so
all in
many,
one
but
episode.
let's do 'em.
But let's do it. Okay. Favorite ride, go.
Magic Kingdom People Mover, Epcot Soarin'.
You're picking one for each part?
Yes, Studios Toy
Yes,
Story
that
Mania,
you're breaking all the rules.
Animal Kingdom Everest.
Just continues to do it anyway.
Okay, no, but actually I think favorite ride at Walt Disney World is probably the People Mover.
Okay, yeah. Favorite in all of Walt Disney World is Haunted Mansion, and that's also my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom. Since you broke the rules, I'm going to break them too. Epcot Soarin', Hollywood Studios Toy Story Mania, Animal Kingdom. I love the safari because it's different every time. Favorite character meet and greet?
Aladdin and Jasmine, obviously.
I love meeting Mary Poppins and Bert when they're together at like the Christmas party. I have a very happy memory of doing the Jolly Holiday Dance with Bert.
That's
Through
fun.
Fantasyland, and it was pretty iconic.
And
then the last one is favorite food. I'm assuming this is Disney food. This is also a very rude question. Jess is currently rubbing her eyes in distress.
How can you ask me something so difficult but also so wonderful?
I mean, my brain is immediately going school bread, just because if they were like, if there was one thing that they were like, we're taking this away forever, that I would pick it for.
I think carrot cake cookies really popping for me.
Ah!
And then the butter chicken and bread service at Sanaa as well.
Yeah, if I had to pick something savory, I would also say bread service cannot go anywhere.
All right, next question. This is a fun one. What would you all do if you were on a VIP tour for a day? I would start my day at Disney's Animal Kingdom and go to Flight of Passage because it gets so crowded. I would probably do the Animal Kingdom loop. I'd do Flight of Passage, Kilimanjaro Safaris, Everest, and Dinosaur. Hop parks over to Studios and do Slinky Dog and Toy Story Mania. Finish the day at Epcot and do Soarin' and Frozen and eat at Via Napoli. And then I would let my tour guide go home for the night.
Aww.
And then I would just walk around the World Showcase by myself.
First of all, I would want my tour guide to be Jess.
Thank you.
So I guess we would start our day at Studios, and I would want to ride Rise of the Resistance.
We can't.
What?
If you get a boarding time, you can. But we have to do it the normal way like everyone else.
If it's my ideal day.
You are getting, yes. If you do
We are manifesting the boarding group.
If you get the boarding group yourself, you can. VIP Tours does not have any sway, though, in Rise of the Resistance.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Okay, so then I guess I would start my day at Studios, hopefully get a boarding group for Rise and ride that. I would also want to do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Toy
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And I would want to do Toy Story Mania.
Yeah, because they can tell you all the secrets.
And then you have to do Muppet Vision because you're just rude if you don't. Am I allowed to let my tour guide like take a break? I'd be like, all right, we're at Epcot now. Everything's a little chill. Maybe I'd ride Soarin' once I got there. And then after that be like, if you want to go relax for a little while, you can. If you want to keep hanging out with us, obviously we'd be so flattered. And then I would do a little showcase stroll. I would probably get something to eat and walk around if there's a festival, do all that stuff. And then in the evening, I would want to go to Magic Kingdom for Happily Ever After. And that would be my day.
I love it.
Favorite hidden gems at Disney? School bread. The Carolwood Pacific Room at the Villas at Disney's Wilderness Lodge is so relaxing, and I used to go do homework there sometimes.
I would say the DVC building at the Beach Club as well.
Aaron McKenna's bakery at Disney Springs.
Yes.
People don't go there because they're like, oh, I'm not vegan.
But it's so good.
But it's so good. The Tangerine Cafe, which we've talked about, the quick service in Morocco, I think a lot of people skip it, but it's so good, and it's not usually ever very crowded.
All of the restaurants at Animal Kingdom Lodge, we've mentioned this before, but Sanaa, Boma, the Mara is my favorite quick service on property. Next question. What old attraction would you bring back? This isn't really an attraction, but I would say the Osborne Spectacle of Lights.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
First of all, it's definitely an attraction. And second of all, I 100% agree. That is by far and away my favorite thing that has ever existed at Walt Disney World and my saddest, most heartbreaking loss. Danielle wants to know, she has a couple of questions. The first is, you only have 24 hours in Walt Disney World. Which park and resort are you going to be at? Mine's easy. Polynesian, I'm going to Epcot.
I'm also going to Epcot. I'm leaning towards the Yacht Club or anything on the boardwalk area.
Her second question is, what are the most important lessons you learned while working at Disney? A huge part of working for Disney is you're interacting with people from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, all day, every day. So you really have to learn to show people grace and be flexible. And huge amounts of patience. I think that is the number one thing I learned working at Disney because, again, these are long days. They're weird hours of the day. They're interacting with so many people from all over the world. Being at Disney taught me patience. I learned how to be positive, and I learned how to embrace people who are different than I am and really celebrate and love them for it.
I think a huge one is adaptability and flexibility, like you were saying. I think one of the main things I learned is that sometimes your dreams don't come true instantly, but they absolutely can come true. It may just not be on your timeline. Just like knowing that there's so many options of paths and choices that you can make for your future and knowing that you can achieve them. What's your favorite way to eat Dole Whip? I love this question.
I love this question. I'm not really into the float because it makes the actual Dole Whip melt too quickly for me, and I'm not into that melty ice cream moment. So I just like straight up Dole Whip on its own, just the pineapple.
And I'm like total opposite. I love the float and I love the swirl because I think for me the pineapple by itself is just too tart, and I like sweet things, but I like a good balance. So that's my absolute go-to for Dole Whip.
Someone wants to know, favorite Mickey Mouse outfit?
Oh,
I think this is cute.
Sorcerer Mickey.
I knew you were going to say that. My favorite is his Christmas outfit in the Christmas Fantasy Parade at Disneyland. He's got this like embroidered blazer in his red and green, and it's so like Victorian meets classic Mickey, and it's just Christmassy and cute.
I like this question. Your favorite resort bar and your favorite in-park bar.
Ooh.
That's a great question.
Love this. Favorite resort bar is Trader Sam's for sure. I have so many good memories there. And then favorite in-park bar, La Cava del Tequila.
Ooh, yeah.
In the Mexico Pavilion. That's my favorite.
I think mine are Geyser Point at Wilderness Lodge.
Ooh.
I love the seating area there. It's right on the water, and it is such a great vibe. And then favorite in-park bar is Baseline Tap House at Hollywood Studios.
Okay, so many people love that place. I've only been there once, and I guess I was like in between stuff and kind of in a hurry, so I didn't really like take a moment to take in like how great it really is. But it really is a cool vibe over there.
They've got great beer selection, and they have giant pretzels with cheese, and it's so nice to go there because it doesn't feel like you're in a theme park.
Rope drop, worth the extra morning scramble? ?
I would say it depends on the current time period of Disney and your priorities. Flight of Passage is a hugely popular attraction. So if that's something you would want to do, then yes, get there for rope drop. If you're just going for fun and you just want to have low lines at like the rides that you can always go on, sure, but that's, in my eyes, that's not a super necessity.
I think doing the Magic Kingdom morning rope drop is fun. But as far as the other parks go, it really just depends.
What is your favorite live action Disney or Disney owned film and why?
Mary Poppins. It has been my favorite Disney film since I was a child. I love Julie Andrews with my whole entire heart. I love Dick Van Dyke. I love the story. I just love it. And then subsequently Saving Mr. Banks.
I think if this question is relating to like the modern day live action remakes, then I think the best quality one is Cinderella 2015.
Agreed.
And then my second favorite's Aladdin.
All right. Someone said if you had to be stuck in one attraction overnight, which would you choose?
Ooh.
That's a good question. Haunted Mansion.
Scary.
Yeah, I think that's part of the appeal. I think the idea that like something else could happen other than you're in an attraction overnight that's like not moving.
Yeah. I think I'd actually second Haunted Mansion because I'm trying to think of an indoor ride and something with a lot of animatronics that I could explore. So
I think that or Pirates would be cool too.
yeah. Oh, I love this question. Which is your favorite bathroom at Disney? I think my overall favorite Disney bathroom is at Disneyland Hotel in the Adventure Tower because they have Adventureland wallpaper and great music choices.
Yeah, I feel like at Disneyland my favorite is the one in Carthay Circle because it's like so fancy.
I know. I love a good fancy bathroom.
Someone said best Disney fairy tale wedding location.
I'm envisioning like Italy at Epcot.
It could be on Castaway Cay. It could be on an Adventures by Disney
Alani.
destination. Yeah, I would say Alani for me.
Yeah.
Like Sunset at Alani.
Where did your family stay the most growing up? Did you have a home resort, quote unquote? Like I said earlier, mine was kind of Old Key West, even though that isn't technically our DVC home resort. But we stayed at Old Key West the most, for sure.
I think the resort I stayed at most as a kid was Port Orleans. Our DVC home now is Grand Floridian and Animal Kingdom Lodge. But I would say like the resort that resonates most with my family and is kind of our whole spot is actually the Polynesian because we've stayed there so many times and it's my favorite. It's my mom's favorite. It's my sister's favorite. I love this question. It's going to be really hard to answer.
Oh, goody.
Best ice cream at Disney.
Oh, goodness. I do like the ice cream, the gelato place in France. I think that place is really good. I love a good classic Mickey's Premium Bar. Ghirardelli at Disney Springs.
Duh. Yeah.
There it is.
I would say the No Way Jose at Beaches and Cream. But
I second that.
For actual like deliciousness of product, the Ghirardelli shop at Disney Springs for sure.
If you could each spend a day with Walt at Walt Disney World, where would you take him?
Where would I take him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess he would be like, I'm lost.
Where am I?
I think I would want to take him to some of the newer stuff just because he was so fascinated with technology and because like the original animatronic that he created for Mr. Lincoln has come so far. So I think taking him to those attractions that have like Mine Train and Frozen Ever After with these really advanced technologies would be really cool. Also, something like Flight of Passage, I think he would just be like mind blown about. On the flip side of that, to kind of take him to some more nostalgic spots, taking him up to the castle suite and letting him look out over Magic Kingdom would be really precious.
I think my number one thing I would want to do would be go on Jungle Cruise with him because that was his original idea. And then I'd also want to take him on Kilimanjaro Safari because he really wanted to have live animals at Jungle Cruise. And I think it would be cool to show him the evolution of how we did both of those things.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd love Fort Wilderness, like, and what it's grown and evolved into, just because it's super family oriented and still has that charm that I think he really wanted to implement in the parks. And then also I would love to take him to Epcot because I know that he really had a vision for it, and I kind of would just want to see his reaction to how it actually turned out.
Yeah. I think I'd be a little nervous for that.
Yeah, but I would want to be there.
Okay, this one I'm just going to make super quick because it is a little bit pessimistic. But what are your pet peeves that you've experienced while at Disney? Everyone has one. That's true. I think other guests being discourteous or just forgetting that, like, letting someone else have a good time does not take away from you having a good time, and we're all going to get there, and we're all waiting in this line. It's not just you. Things like that.
I 100% agree with that. I would say the same thing. And then also the heat in the summer is just killer. Tell us job prep you did for your Disney roles. How we both initially entered working at Disney was through the college program. So the college program interview was definitely more of an interview to kind of learn about who you were as a person and your ability to adapt to work environments and your ability to adapt to a theme park schedule and like live independently and things like that. Any job experience that you had before that. So being able to show up and show how flexible you were and how much personality you had to shine through was huge, and just be able to show up and be confident. And my biggest advice everyone always gave me was smile through the phone and like dress up for the interview as if it was in person, even though it was over the phone.
Smiling and taking moments of pause and being intentional is super helpful for that portion. I think honestly letting that joy radiate aided the outcome because I wasn't looking at anyone else. I wasn't sizing myself up to anyone. I wasn't looking around comparing myself to people. Favorite resort to stay at and least favorite resort to stay at?
I'll go with anything at the Epcot resorts just because of the convenience to Epcot. And then least favorite to stay at would be, I know everyone's going to say the All-Stars, but the All-Stars probably, and then probably second to that's Caribbean Beach.
My favorite is the Polynesian, always and forever. My least favorite resort to stay at is probably All-Star Sports. The All-Stars aren't bad by any means. Like, I've stayed at all three of them multiple times.
They're not bad.
They're fun. They refurb them fairly regularly. I just think they're kind of far from the parks, and it's just not one that resonates with me very much.
What are your very first childhood tangible memories in Walt Disney World?
This is your mom's question, isn't it?
This is my mom's question.
I love it.
She was really excited to ask this.
I have two. I don't know which one happened before the other. First being watching Illuminations from the Italy Pavilion at Epcot. The second was when I met Cinderella for the first time. Cinderella is actually one of my favorite Disney movies when I was really little. She was the first princess I ever met, and I just remember like looking at her and feeling like she was like glowing, like there was something going on around her. I was just like, she's real. And I had this moment where I was like, I'm in a dream. Everything is a dream. And I don't remember what she said to me at all, but I just remember being like, oh my gosh, and like hugging her and being like feeling her dress and being like, she's real. Like I can hold her, she's real. Aww. And so that was something that I definitely carried with me.
That's so cute.
Into and working for the company.
I know one of my first memories was we returned to Disney World after going before, and the castle was back to its normal, basic, like blue and white coloring after the birthday cake overlay situation. And I was so confused because my whole life it was the birthday cake, so I felt very confused as to why the castle was suddenly blue and white. Another really random early memory, like that's just kind of like a blip in my consciousness, is going to Club Cool at Epcot. That was my first time I ever remember going to Epcot.
Do you remember when there was like the polar bear and there was like icy and it like dumped ice from the entrance?
So what I remember is there was snow.
Yes.
And I was so mad because in Buffalo, when you're a kid, you just eat the snow, and I couldn't eat it. And I was so mad. Okay, this is an interesting one. When you first realized your popularity with the Disney community, were you okay with it?
I think we didn't really...
We didn't go into this with the intention of having it be a popularity thing.
No.
It's never been important to us.
The Disney community was so young at the time and social media was non-existent. And then when it was so new and little. It was not nearly what it is now. And for me and Jess, it was more about having that community of people who kind of got us than anything else.
There's so much more that I want to offer to this world than just my passion for Disney, which has been such a constant in my life. But as I'm growing older, like there are so many more things that are so important to me.
Yeah.
In addition to Disney. One of the coolest moments, though, I think we were in line for Jungle Cruise and someone recognized us from the Disboards.
Oh, yeah.
And we were together, and
we
that
were like,
was
what?
that was so exciting because we got to finally talk to someone who read something that we wrote. So I think that was just a really special and like wholesome moment for us. So it was more so about moments like that rather than anything else, I would say.
Okay, while working for Disney, what was your most memorable moment as a cast member? This is very hard to answer because there are so many.
So this wasn't even at work. This was about me getting my job. So I was moving to California to do the Disneyland College program, and my heart was set on being a Jungle Cruise skipper. I told them in my interview, and I was just my head and my heart was in it. So we have a website called The Hub where you can see your cast member profile essentially, and it said I was located in Adfront, which is Adventureland Frontierland. So I was like, oh my God, I got the Jungle Cruise. It's happening. It's happening. And I was so excited, and it said Indiana Jones, which is the attraction right next door. So if you've never been to Disneyland, it's similar to Dinosaur, but it's Indiana Jones themed. Fast forward a few days, my facilitator was like, all right, we're going to go through this really quick. We're getting a tour of the Adventureland area, and then he takes us up to scheduling. And like I said, I was heartbroken. I could not work at Jungle Cruise. And out of the complete blue, the scheduler goes, hey, so we actually have an opening at the Jungle Cruise. Do either of you guys want it?
My gosh.
And I was like, is this real life? Like, you never get switched locations on your college program.
No.
Ever. Like, ever. Like, this was divine intervention.
Wow.
I'm convinced to this day. And the girl I was training with had already been a Jungle Cruise skipper on her last college program. So she was like, no, I want to go to Indy, and I know you would love to go to Jungle, so you can absolutely take it. Her name was Angel, actually.
Shut up! No, you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
What?
Her name
Seriously?
was literally Angel.
Oh my gosh, she was your angel sent to you.
I know. Oh my God.
Penny's freaking out.
Oh, do you hear my dog? In that moment, I got transferred from Indiana Jones to Jungle Cruise. I was so elated and just beyond happy.
I have goosebumps.
I know. That was my favorite memory of being a cast member. And then my Jungle Cruise college program was just the best 4 months of my life.
When I auditioned for Disney, at the time, Frozen was exploding. Disney was looking for ways to incorporate Frozen into the parks a lot more. I had fallen into this assumption based on what I was told by people who were already in entertainment with Disney and people who were just kind of speculating along with me that I would probably be spending my time in entertainment in that realm. And I was obviously still ecstatic and so happy and so grateful. But there was a small part of me that was feeling like I didn't necessarily resonate with that story as much as the Disney stories I had grown up with, because Frozen was still so new and I didn't know it as a child. So when I got to Disney, I went to a callback, and it was there that I was introduced to not Anna or Elsa, but Belle. I think I just stared for a while. I will never ever forget that moment. And then everything from there felt so natural and easy because that was a story that just like flowed straight from my heart.
What's the next foreign Disney park you'd like to visit and why?
Tokyo. For sure. I want to go to Disney Sea so badly. I love Japanese culture. Everything everyone has ever said about it and every picture and video and everything I've ever seen. But also they just redid the castle and they added the Beauty and the Beast attraction and I cannot wait to go to it and cry my eyes out.
I'm going to second that. I'm obsessed with everything Japan and Tokyo Disney.
Favorite table service restaurant?
Via Napoli.
Mine is Boma or Ohana dinner. Favorite quick service?
The Mara at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I love Satuli Canteen at Animal Kingdom. Oh, I don't know if this counts, but Polite Pig at Disney Springs.
That counts.
Obsessed.
That definitely counts.
Favorite alcoholic beverage at Disney? Any margarita in Mexico, either the outdoor stand or inside at La Cava. And I also really love the Italian margarita in Italy.
I don't know. The one I want to try the most next time I go is the Italian margarita because you keep talking about it.
It's so good, you guys.
I love the margaritas in Mexico. What is your favorite sequel movie?
Frozen 2. Done.
Duh. Yes.
I also don't know if it counts as a sequel because technically it happens like in the middle of the story, but Belle's Enchanted Christmas.
I remember as a kid, I was very obsessed with Little Mermaid 2 and then Lady and the Tramp 2. Frozen 2 is the quality sequel. It's better than the original.
It's also better than the original, which I think is what sets it apart.
Okay, we just need to answer this question. Will you work for Disney again after the pandemic?
We only know as much as you know.
Yeah.
The amount of information we've been given that the general public has been given is pretty much the same. There's very little that we know that you don't. So the short answer is we don't know. And for me, as far as I'm concerned, I am totally open to working for the company again in the future.
I would love to take this as an opportunity to explore something new for a bit. Whether or not I come back to Disney down the road, I'm open to either life path. If you have one day to spend at a water park, which would you choose, Typhoon or Blizzard?
Typhoon.
I would also choose Typhoon. But above both of those two, I would choose Volcano Bay at Universal because I think it is a very high-quality water park.
I have heard this, and I still haven't been.
What was the moment you first felt the Disney feeling? I like that question.
Probably one of the two earliest Disney memories I had.
I think thinking back on like my childhood, I don't even know if it was when I was at Disney. I think it was almost when I was at home missing Disney as a kid and listening to the Illumination soundtrack. And I got this rush of emotion, and now I recognize that as the magic that Disney has.
So the last question to do with Disney is, what is your favorite memory from a trip you two took together?
I loved our trips together.
I'm gonna cry. I will genuinely never forget the surprise trip just because I truly had no idea. And it's so hard to genuinely surprise someone with something that big. So I was just like extremely impressed, but also so happy.
Yeah, I think anything we talked about in that Disboards reading of our trips together, this surprise instantly comes to mind for me. Everything about the Bathrobe Princess's trip was just so wholesome. Anytime we did extra magic hours and just got so, for lack of a better word, frumpy and crazy
Loopy.
and sleep deprived, like going to get a cinnamon roll at Main Street Bakery at like 1 a.m. Any of those really blissful moments definitely were my favorites. We just had so much fun. All right, that wraps up all of the Disney questions. And then we are going to rapid fire the this or that questions, and you will be on your way.
We got this one a lot. Mickey Bar or Dole Whip?
Mickey Bar.
Dole Whip.
Florida or New York?
Florida.
Maybe Florida out of the two. I don't know. I don't like this question. It's too hard.
I'm going to say Florida because it was my first chosen home.
Great.
I was born in New York and I grew up here, and that's amazing, but I got to choose Florida. Flip-flops or sneakers? We know this person's from up north because they said sneakers.
Yeah, right. I like my Adidas sneakers.
Yeah, I like sneakers just because my feet don't really get hot. They're usually pretty cold.
Wine or beer?
Wine.
Wine.
Schoolbread or Dole Whip? As if you have to ask Danielle. Schoolbread, obviously.
I'll go with Dole Whip. Sorry for the controversy. Kristen's staring at me really scary right now.
So Jess is in a friendship timeout.
Oh my God.
So I will be taking over the podcast for the duration.
Anyway, next. Boardwalk or Yacht and Beach Club?
Boardwalk.
Yacht Club's my favorite, so.
Chip or Dale?
Chip.
Agreed. He's the mastermind. He gets things done. I admire his productivity. Big fan.
Okay, get ready for this one. No. Belle's ball gown, little town dress, or Christmas gown.
No!
They got you with
and
that
this has
one.
been the end of my presence here on ReDIScover. I am now deceased and I cannot carry on.
Oh my God. I'm going to go with the Christmas gown because I love Christmas.
Little town. Here's why. It is probably a dress that she made herself. She grew up in a very poor town, in a very poor household. She probably had to make her own clothes. So I think that dress is a representation of her personality, her practicality, her resourcefulness. I think she's very comfortable in it. I think she feels most authentic in it. Apple pie or peach pie? Yes, this is a real question.
Apple pie.
Agreed. Christmas trees or jack-o'-lanterns?
Christmas trees.
Agreed.
Mamma Mia or Mamma Mia 2?
Mamma Mia 2.
Correct. There is no other answer.
Correct. Different lands versus one another. So like Adventureland versus Fantasyland, etc. So I guess you have to pick a land at Magic Kingdom.
Adventureland.
Fantasyland, just because I lived there for a long time and it's got my heart.
Second place, Main Street, USA.
Agreed. Correct.
Next, Soarin' over California versus Soarin' over the world. Or
Ooh.
Soarin' around the world.
Okay, I do love them both, and I genuinely wasn't mad when they redid it because I liked the new one so much, but I think nostalgia-wise, there are a couple scenes in the California one that are just pretty irreplaceable to me, so I would say California because I miss the Orange Grove.
I'm going to say around the world because I have the world traveler spirit that just never turns off, and I love all the smells.
Snow on Main Street or Osborne Lights? This is a hilarious question.
Oh, that's so painful because
What?
I love both. Well, there's an obvious answer, but
okay.
I love both.
Okay, thank you. I got concerned for a second. Osborne Lights always and forever.
Osborne Lights, but Main Street Snow is really magical.
The hardest breakup of my life has not been with a boy. It has been with the Osborne Lights. Thank you for being here for me.
Correct.
In this difficult time that has lasted 5 years. Disneyland versus Disney World. Well, we're going to do a whole episode dedicated to this where we weigh the pros and cons, but I would say because we did spend so much time and we're blessed with so much time and experience at Disney World, I think both of us would say Disneyland just because we haven't had as much time there.
Yeah. Monorail or the ferry boat?
Monorail. Do you know me at all? Disney during Halloween time or Christmas time?
Christmas.
Agreed.
Halloween is great, though. I'm not discounting that by any means.
I think Halloween at Disneyland, Christmas at Disney World.
Grand Floridian or the Polynesian?
Polynesian.
Same.
Multiple people ask this, and I'm really upset. But I'm going to make Jess answer it.
Okay.
Belle or Ariel?
This is really painful. I think as a current day Jess, I would say Belle, but as 5-year-old Jess, I would say Ariel.
I refuse to answer this question, so we're moving on.
Magic Kingdom resorts or Epcot resorts?
Epcot.
Same.
Dancing/beignet date with Naveen or skating and hot cocoa with Kristoff?
Shut up. That's the best question.
It's a great question.
Oh my God. Skating and hot cocoa with Kristoff.
I gotta go dancing and beignets with Naveen.
Well, good. Then we're not fighting over the same man.
I would say dancing and beignets with Naveen, even though I don't even like beignets that much and I love hot cocoa, but just as an activity,
yeah,
I love dancing.
Next, salty or sweet?
Salty.
Sweet.
Galaxy's Edge or Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade?
I might go with the Harry Potter ones because Harry Potter is really magical.
I'm also going to say Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade because I didn't get into Star Wars until about 5 or 6 years ago, but Harry Potter has been a constant throughout my life and my childhood, and so it's very nostalgic for me, and I also love it at Christmas time.
Next, travel by plane or car?
Plane. I'm impatient.
Plane also. A night in the Castle Suite or in the Pirate Suite in Disneyland?
Castle Suite.
The only reason I might say Pirate Suite at Disneyland is because it's so big and you get a view of New Orleans Square. Apple cider or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate. Only if there's mini marshmallows, if not apple cider.
I'm going to go with apple cider, but if it's cold, hot chocolate.
Or option 3, hot apple cider?
Yes.
Mickey's Not So Scary or Mickey's Very Merry?
I'm always going to pick Christmas over Halloween. However, I will pick the Boo to You parade at the Halloween party over the Christmas parade.
And the Hocus Pocus show over the Daisy got a text message from someone show at the Christmas party. Here's the
Okay,
thing.
low-key, I love that song. It's my favorite part of the show. It's so random.
It's so random. It's truly so random. I love Christmas way more than Halloween. However, I think I love the Halloween party more than the Christmas party.
Yeah, I do love dressing up. I don't know. I love both. The thing about the Christmas party, though, is I wear pajamas every time, so I love wearing pajamas to the Magic Kingdom.
Wishes or Happily Ever After? Mine's Happily Ever After. Wishes is nostalgic, but Happily Ever After is incredible.
I'm going to go with Illuminations Reflections of Earth.
I mean, me too.
Grilled cheese or PB&J?
PB&J, because it won't make me sick.
I love PB&J. Pizza or sushi? Pizza. That's not a difficult one.
Hollywood Studios or Epcot?
Epcot.
Agreed.
Early riser or night owl?
Early riser, because I'm narcoleptic.
Night owl for me. I can't get up early to save my life. Nick Jonas or Joe Jonas? Or Kevin Jonas?
Based on personality and not on looks, because personality is far more important. Joe.
I've always been a Nick girl since I was 14, so I'm just going to say Nick.
Maelstrom or Frozen Ever After?
You're going to hate me, but I'm going to go with Frozen Ever After.
Nobody's perfect, Jess. I'm going to say Maelstrom because
Of course you're going to
it's
say
the frumpiest
Maelstrom.
thing that Disney has ever done, and I would be inauthentic if I disagreed.
Only go to Disney for the rest of your life or travel around the world.
Well, when I travel around the world, I can go to places that have Disney parks.
Are we banned from Disney in this
am
question?
I banned from Disney? I'm going to assume you just mean Disney World and that I can go to all the rest of the Disney parks,
Yeah.
in which case I'm going to say travel the world.
Yeah, and I would 100% say travel around the world. Red or folklore? Taylor Swift albums.
Folklore.
Red.
Ooh, controversy. Ranch or blue cheese?
This is Bobby from Buffalo.
Oh, okay. Well, Bobby from Buffalo, as a Buffalonian, you know that it's blue cheese or die with the wings, but I do like ranch. Jess and I used to be very obsessed with dunking our pizza in ranch.
I almost use them interchangeably because the only time I ever have this type of dressing is with pizza or wings.
But she means not on wings for the ranch, because if she were to say that, she would
pizza for
get
ranch
kicked
only.
out of Buffalo. So
Ugh. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'll eat pizza with ranch or blue cheese, but just blue cheese with wings.
agreed.
We have one more question, and that is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
Okay, I'm going to say Mine Train for a very specific reason, because it is my mom's favorite ride, and she gets so excited. There was one day we were at Magic Kingdom super late with my mom and my stepdad and Sarah, my sister, and we had like a fast pass. We rode it. Then they let us go again for some reason. I forget why. And then my mom was so excited about it that they were like, do you want to go again? Granted, this is Mine Train, which
This
always...
Doesn't happen.
Yeah, it always has such a long wait, but they were just so, like, touched by how thrilled she was. And they were like, she's also like 5'2" and just really cute. So they were like, do you want to go again? So we went 3 times in a row, and then we left. And the wait wasn't super long. It was like half an hour or something at that point in the night. And we started walking toward Tomorrowland, and about halfway there, my mom just stops, and she's like, I really just wish we could go ride the Mine Train again. And we were like, okay. And we all just like about face pivoted and walked back. So we rode it like 4 times in a row, and that memory makes me so happy. So
That's funny.
I pick Mine Train because it makes her happy.
That's cute. And I just pick Mine Train because it's so smooth and the animatronics of the dwarves are really great. I love the diamond mine.
Well, I think those were really funny and creative. This has been the frumpiest episode of ReDIScover.
Definitely. You guys came up with phenomenal questions. Thank you so much for participating.
Thank you so much for listening and making it this far. I think we should do another one of these in the future at some point, because this was really fun.
This was super fun. The more creative and niche these questions are, the better, because they really make us think. And
Yeah.
I had so much fun doing
You're
this.
keeping us young.
Thanks, everybody. So until next time, we will talk to you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of ReDIScover.
Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. Your reviews are what keep us going, and we'd love to hear from you.
Join us every Tuesday for a new conversation and let us know what you think we should talk about next.
Follow us on Instagram at positively.kristen and at jessicafaye508. And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com.
Until next time,
Stay frumpy!